What's going on, everybody? Today's video is going to be about Rose and the setup that she is running. If you're unfamiliar with the name, Rose is the K-swapped C6 Corvette that I have in Class 2. It was the winner of the vote last week for our first ever setup video. So there she is. We're going to go ahead and head over to one of the shops, whichever one is closest, and I will run through what her setup actually is. And it looks like we got lucky, and there's a garage right across the street, and that worked out really well. We're just going to go ahead and get that box, and get a nice little chunk of change. But here we are. So let's just jump right into it so we can see what kind of setup we're working with. Right off the bat, let's talk about gas and tires. Now, you can't see the gas that we're running in the shop, but it is just regular gas at the moment. If I'm doing a time attack, I will put sport gas in there just to give it a little extra push. Just every little advantage counts when you're doing time attack events. Some folks have really mastered the art of finding out what those little quirks can be to really maximize what you got, but that is not me. I'm probably your more average player. Tires, on the other hand, I will run Racing Plus. Just, another one of those. Give yourself the benefit of running the best you can get. But that's all it is as far as gas and tires go. Now, if we come down to the wheels, I am running ultimate front and rear spacers, as well as ultimate front and rear wheels. If we scroll over all the way to where we're at, we are running 305 by 25 19s on the front and 345 25 19s on the rear. As far as the rubber goes, I went with the Racing Plus 10. Gives it a more squared look on the rubber. I didn't like the way the Elite tires looked. I didn't like that stretch look. It just wasn't my style. That may be an unpopular opinion, but I did like the way that the racing tires really filled in those fenders. So that is what we're running as far as wheels go. As far as upgrades on the wheels, tire pressure is as it was. That is unchanged. Front spacers and rear spacers, they are only ever so slightly adjusted just to get that gap filled in the fenders the best I could possibly get. Moving on to suspension, it's a mild setup. What I did was basically every part that I already had in inventory, that's what I used. At the time when I built this car, I really wanted to keep a budget in mind. Now I don't really worry about budget so much, especially if you look at the bank. But I wanted to keep things simple and easy and cheap. So all your parts that are on this car right now, they came from Street Pass and just grinding away, getting milestones, getting ranked finishes on single events, drift events, whatever you needed to get points for the Street Pass in order to get free parts. And you will get, cash and gold, and sometimes you'll get liveries or stickers, I should say, decals, vinyls, and then tires. But I mostly want the parts. So we are running, excuse me, we are running racing level sway bars, springs, and dampers all the way around, front and rear. As far as control arms, we're running sport front and rear. That's what I had. Same thing with the brakes, but at the elite level. As you can see, I still have 5 more that I could work with for any future build that I want to do. But that's probably one of the most high level parts that I have on this car. Because of that, I was able to change some of the braking setup. We'll get to that in just a second. But for the springs, the length of them, I slammed the car as low as I could get it, stiffened it up as stiff as I could get it. I didn't do anything with the dampers, front or rear. I'm trying to scroll, front or rear. The braking force I have maxed out. That just allows me to wait a little bit longer before I get on the brakes, and I did bring the bias up just a little bit towards the front. So far it seems to be a really good setup as far as suspension goes. The car handles fantastic, but that's only part of the equation. Moving over to body, as you can see, there's nothing there, and that is because there's nothing there. No any downforce, no weight reduction, no bigger gas tank, no body swap. The car, body wise, is completely stock. And if you can see inside, it's the same for the interior and exterior, really. The car is really just as it was when I first got it. I have not done anything to it cosmetically. You'll just have to take my word on it. I don't want to go to the detail shop. That's not why we're here. Coming into the transmission, we look at what we're working with in there. Running an elite clutch with an elite gear setup and some mild adjustments. I wanted more off the line and out of the corner speed than just top speed. So gear shifting is down. First, second, third are as tall as you can get as far as gearing goes. Fourth is kind of a happy medium between tall and mid. Fifth and sixth are untouched. Now, if you're an eagle-eyed watcher, you might know already that the T60 is not a stock transmission. This is your stock transmission. There's nothing wrong with it, but I needed higher ratings for some of the events that I do. So the T60 C06 had to go, and what I got was just the T60. It's a bit of an upgrade. It's not much of one. It did bring my rating up, which is what I was after. So now we can get to where everybody wants to see. The K-swapped. Now, to get a true K-swap motor on this game, it is a bit tricky, and I'll go into that in just a minute. But it involves buying cars and then stripping cars, and we'll get to that. For now, it's a K20. That is a K-swap. I don't want to hear anything about why didn't you just use that or whatnot. That's not a K-swap. That would probably be, in real life terms, an SR20, which is not a Honda motor. So I went and got a K-swap, and I had to go through the car dealership to get it, but I got it. If I ever want to go back to the V8, I could do that. Just really simple. It's right there. It's cheap. That is the stock motor for this car. But that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So what we have is the K-Series motor with a racing level chip, no turbo, it's all NA, street cam, sport intake, street injector, sport heads, sport block, street headers, and street exhaust. There was only one upgrade I could do, and that was to bring up the RPM gauge, or the rev limiter. But that is it. It's a very simple build as far as going all in, but it was exactly what I needed to get a good high ranking class 2 car. I mean, one tick more and I'm in class 3. So the car is set up in a way that it is as high of a class 2 that it can be, and it will still put it down. If you've ever seen the car in any of its videos, it is no slouch as far as class 2 goes, and it's a very easy to drive car. Excuse me again, allergies or sinuses, something's going on, so please forgive me for sniffling on this recording. But that's enough talking about the car. I think now I could probably just ride around and show you a little bit more about the car if I can see where I'm going. There we go. And yeah, that'll be it from me. I'm gonna ride around for just a couple minutes, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I have never really done one like this before. I don't usually like to hear myself talking on camera, but this is what we got. That's Rose, the case-swapped Corvette. If there's any other cars that you would like to see on video explaining the setup, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to try and make that happen. I almost forgot, real quick though, in order to get that K-swap motor, you actually have to go to the car dealership, get this Honda, the HCR, I think it's what it is. You have to get this Honda just in order to get that K-swap. What you do is you'll take this car to the shop, swap in any motor if you got one in inventory, or if you're not, just swap in the really cheap RS20, and that'll give you the motor from that car for you to use in something else. Now you will have to pay some gold to make that happen, but if you're wanting a mild or really crazy K-swap car, this is the car you'll have to get in order to get a true K-series motor. So I said I was going to be done talking. I went on a little bit more of a rant, but now I am done talking. So back into Rose. I'm going to ride around for a little bit so you can see how she handles. But that is it from me. Again, if there's any other car you want to see a setup video on, please just let me know down in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.